Were you ready, buddy?
Yeah, I'm ready. Go ahead, man. I'm all set. I can't do anything else but complain.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we complain, we're going to bring some sports. Hot sports. That's the one thing that's consistent. Sports and music. And here's the bald-headed black man. Here's Vic.
All that intro,
Yeah.
and I'm not that excited. All right, you guys. I'm going to say this because I think everybody has done it. And so far, I don't want to not miss out on the moment here. There's moments when you have sports, and then you have a lot of things you want to celebrate. And sports, like anything else, can be a getaway for a lot of folks. But, of course, over the weekend, we've had tragedy in Newtown, Connecticut, and you can't get away from it. And we've sent out our respects, prayers, blessings, etc. over and over again. I just want to lead into this because I don't want to take you down that road because I've seen the warmth of not the whole entire planet come to the rescue of this situation where people were doing candlelight vigils, things of that nature, and I thought it was wonderful. And we all sat here, and I'm not going to tell you, I came to tears because it's the only moment that made me feel like 9/11. When it happened, when you get that moment where somebody tells you what happened. So we want to say our prayers are going out to you all. Hopefully there's a getaway and there's a place of peace, but I can't even imagine what they're going through. So, Mar, I just want to acknowledge that real quick, man.
A lot of these things going on, and even some of the stories, unfortunately, a bunch of the stories in sports today are these kinds of stories, even though it is the holiday. And maybe this holiday is going to make us cling to people a little bit differently.
Oh, man.
Because of what's going on all around us.
Yeah, and hopefully, if this doesn't start something up for people to get off of their, it's the first time I've seen a president come to tears. Now, question as you may, I thought they were authentic. Now, and I'm going to say this, I didn't question it at all. I said, the one thing about him, he's human, he's a parent, he understands. Imagine you coming one day and you finding out what's happening here. So, I'm just glad that people are rallying around that community, and hopefully there'll be greater things that happen because of this. Unfortunately, not because of this, but please let this be the flashpoint for greater things. Welcome to New Sports. Hey, we're going to do it like we do it, and I'm going to transition here and try to keep the humor and social talk around what we call an avenue of entertainment. But guess what? Also, there becomes a question because along with the tragedy, there's sports and there's considerations and there are other things on the brighter side where a parent says, I just lost my son. The best friend was with him. What do I do? And the mother takes a big step and says, I need you to go out there where people's going to support you. And the person I'm talking about, we're talking about Josh Brent on the sidelines of the Cowboys versus Pittsburgh Steelers football game over the weekend. Very big. And a lot of people have some opinions about this, and please do not take that second picture as a person who's basically familiar with him. That's just a fan giving him comfort. Mark, we know about the story. We know that for those who don't know about it, the linebacker who lost his life driving with or as a passenger with Josh Brent, unfortunately lost his life. And the hard part about this, Mario, I didn't want to make it into something that is it right or is it wrong that he's on the sidelines. I want to find out from you, was it the best thing to do?
The best.
The best thing to do.
The best. See, it depends on who. That's hard to determine because it would be best for who and whom. And that's where it's difficult because of the people. I know that the mother of the gentleman who died,
Jerry Brown,
has already sent her love to him because she knew. In other words, when you know two people,
right?
And see what happens is, I'm not dealing with guilt or blame at this point because mistakes happen. There, but for the grace of God go I. How many of us have had a drink or a joint and driven? Not to excuse it,
right,
but you made it home,
right? Didn't you?
Yeah. And you know damn well that was by the grace of God, right? How many of us were stupid as young folks driving and racing down the street? I remember doing 100 miles an hour.
Right.
Stupid ass kid.
Right.
Stupid kid.
It can happen in a flash.
Who protected me when I did that stupidity? God.
Right.
See, so I'm humble in this because we all have come close and have done things that are regrettable. in this instance, here comes. So I refuse to point a finger because when I look, I still say, there but for the grace of God go I. Right. I remember being in Jamaica where Fred and I drinking, climbed over the balcony to jump into the other girl's room and scared him 3 flights up.
Wow.
In the middle of the night.
Wow.
Actually, remember, kids do this. Young folks do this. Don't you climb up the trellis and jump over the side, jump off the cliffs, and you just don't care.
Right.
And then somebody gets. So I refuse to point because it's all about forgiveness and growth to me. And the way when mom handled it that way, that to me set the tone.
Right.
She said, no, these are 2 young men who loved each other.
Because one,
they loved it. They were best friends. I know that. I know it's hurting him. I know it's on his heart, and I know he has to live with that. And therefore, I go like that's for him, between him and Lord.
Right. And
to me,
you hit the nail on the head, Mark. Because if it's your best friend, you know that ultimately this wears on you for the rest of your life. There is no way malice as it relates to you sitting up here saying, I'm going to put you in harm's way. That's not his thought process. He has another issue he has to deal with. It's an individual one, and it deals with the history of DUI. So that in itself is his own personal challenge he has to deal with. He is now, the world has been shaken under his feet.
Right.
He will forever, his life has changed.
His life is forever.
And he can get up to 20 years for this. Right. Now, I don't think it's going to be that severe. That's just, I don't know anything about the law as it relates to that. So my point is that the first time, and when something like this is happening, you think of the family.
Exactly.
And she went above and beyond. And this is my question. It's to myself. It's more rhetorical. You know, when I see the journalists and broadcasters on TV trying to put a wedge between was it right or was it wrong?
They're very judgmental. To me, Boomer was out of line.
Yes.
I go like, so Boomer, you led the perfect life.
Right.
You need to look at yourself.
Right.
Because to me, for you to even say that, no offense. Like I said, for everybody out there who ever had sex without a condom.
Right.
And didn't get pregnant and didn't get a venereal disease. Who protected you?
And let me say
God,
this.
Okay?
And Mario, let me say this. It's easy to have opinions here because I'm not here to judge. I don't even want to have the experience of something that happened. You live long enough, you lose loved ones. And we really think of them in a better light. With all the feelings we all have, we do go back and say, let's just go forward with what they were to us. Let me say this to Boomer and the others out there. It's not my job to turn around and judge you. Sit in the room with that wonderful woman who said, hey, look, Jerry Brown is her son. And tell her. You were wrong for doing that to Brent, telling Brent to go out there.
Ain't that her call? Ain't that her call?
Sit in front of her and
whose call is that, Boomer?
See if you'll sit there and tell her you're wrong. I guarantee you won't. So it's easy
he'll want
to
take that one back.
Thank you.
He'll want to take that one back. But like I said, being a satirist and a commentator, I've said shit I want to take back too. That'll be on your list, Boomer.
Right. That one.
That'll be on your list.
Away. I mean, I think
that will be on your list.
The greatest thing is the first thing you think about is there goes a mother's son.
That's what I think about.
I think about I have just taken away and affected a direct family. And the mom, the mother, the top down is saying, it's okay, baby. After that, I'm still in an area of distress. I'm gone. But that's the one that hits me.
Exactly. And most of us have something personal in our own lives.
Yeah, we all do.
It makes us reflect. Like PMC's reflecting on things he's done. See, this is really what you do is reflect on what you've done, and that's where you say thank you, Lord.
Right.
For protecting you at that moment.
Right.
When you out there planking, or you out there, those who went out wanted to lay on the stripes in the street, and you didn't die.
Right.
That's who protected you that night.
I call it. Everybody has different names. I call it flashpoints in life.
That's right.
Where you realize how blessed you are day to day. You may complain about other things, little relationships, a different type of job. You do all this stuff, and then when something like this happens, this man has to live with 2 things that's just gigantic. Loss of somebody personally that he loved, I'm pretty sure, in that family. And then his own life is changed. And who's to say it may or may not be easy for him. So to me, if he was able to get out there around nearly 100,000 people on the sidelines and carry the weight that I'm doing what Jerry Brown's mom want me to do, I would have been out there on the sidelines with him. I would have done the same thing if it was her wish. Yeah. So I just wanted to find out.
Yeah, that's why I said we don't understand the context under which situations occur.
I know.
Doesn't that make a difference?
It sure does.
That if the mom said go do this,
I would do it.
Because even if you didn't want to, you would do it because she asked you to.
She probably sees the relationship that you guys had, and when she sees Trent, bottom line, she says, I see something in my son with him because they were so close. So I'm glad that he didn't retreat. I know a lot of people going to have opinions about this, but that's, to me, it's what she wants.
And I'm proud, for once, for all the stuff we talk about Jerry Jones.
Yeah.
For once,
yep.
Jerry, I have to really give it to you.
Yeah.
This shows how you stand by your beliefs.
Yeah.
Which makes you hard sometimes.
Right.
But this time you stood behind your player because you felt like that was the biggest and most important thing between that player and family.
Right.
And I have to tell you, you acted like the Cowboys were truly a family. I have to give Jerry Jones credit, y'all, on this one.
Right.
I think for all the time we give him hell, and we do give him hell, we have to give him one on this because he stood by his people.
Right.
And that showed a certain kind of integrity. As much of a hard ass as he may be, that shows a certain kind of integrity that I have to respect.
Right.
I just simply have to respect.
And let me just correct, like I said, Trent meant Brent. So, and I keep thinking of his quarterback, and I've been watching him, and so I just confused the names briefly there, but it's Brent. So bottom line is I just want to sit there and say, let me just say this. This is bigger. This is sports wrapped around it, and it's the conversations, and not everybody's going to agree. So I just wanted to let my feelings know. I said, just don't criticize if you're not there. It's easy, and I just don't want to criticize. I just can't help but when somebody says I'm going to indict somebody for something that they're doing, whether it's the Cowboys or whomever. So bottom line, this is one of those backpack moments where everybody's going to jump on the Cowboys. But I think more people are rallying around the organization because he didn't leave him out there hanging to dry. All right, we're going to go over, and we're not going to get into a rating for this. This is a different mission on this one. But we're going to get into a rating because there's a man out there who's threatening what I call the rushing back record of all time by Eric Dickerson. Yes. All day Adrian Peterson of the great Minnesota Vikings. And I say great because
of him.
Yes, I have to say that because Montana made San Francisco great, yet they have championships. Maybe the Vikings may be on their way, but I have to look at this, Mario, because the MVP race, the comeback player of the year, a man coming from the Achilles tendon tear. This is he's 295 yards. He breaks the record. Eric Dickerson says he hopes he doesn't break his record. Now, what do you think about Eric saying that?
Oh, man, records are meant to be broken. You got to admire this man coming back from an injury and doing this. And you know what? I didn't even think about it in terms of one of the commentators said on the show last night, remember, he's on a team with no passing attack.
That's right.
He says everybody who's defending against him, he's the only thing to defend.
That's right.
So that everybody's defensive plan is always focused only on him.
Yes.
Every game, and they still can't stop it.
Can't stop him, man.
Oh, no.
You see, now I don't have to I'm not going to even get into it.
I said, give, you take. Now, I watched it. I'm blown away.
Right.
And like you said, take a look at the picture, Vic.
I know.
That you put here. I'm going to go down to the bottom picture because I want to blow this up. So, because I think some pictures are meant to just be blown the hell on up. Right. So you got to see this brother. He is a physical specimen.
He is.
Look at this. Just look at this.
They're using comparisons because they're saying, who does he remind you of? And they are using Walter Payton, Bo Jackson, of course, O.J. Simpson.
Body fat or something.
Right. they're saying this. The only thing is that, for those who went back and watched O.J., he's way back in the day. But remember, he ran he was a faster. He was faster than Bo Jackson with the strength, the elusiveness, and also,
he was big.
He was big, and they're saying the difference with Adrian is just he's physically a little stronger than OJ was back in the day.
But OJ was
right, and OJ's faster. But then you have the other elements that come to play. This man, to me, what he has done, no one saw it coming. So the argument now, Mario, becomes this: we've seen probably the best year of let's say amateurs or first-year players and quarterbacks producing at a level we didn't think we were going to see.
Right.
We've seen comeback by Peyton Manning.
Oh, wonderful. This was a wonderful year for that. Ooh.
See?
Ooh.
So you got Peyton Manning. You also got Wilson up in Seattle, who's actually showing you how he can quarterback the Seattle Seahawks and say, look, I'm here. You also have your boy at San Francisco who's making San Francisco a new powerhouse as it relates to New England Patriots yesterday with the Tom Brady almost comeback. When I say that now, Mario, I know you watched the game.
What a hell of a game. What a hell of a game.
I know. It was the comeback of the almost of the year in a sense. But what I was more impressed with, and I think this is
my man LaMichael James got a chance. I've been waiting to see him contribute.
I know. What I was impressed with is, and I'll get into this a little later, but I just want to say that the San Francisco's defense was more impressive to me, and I think they just got lazy when they said, "Man, we're 31-3," and they went into zone. And when they went into zone, that's kind of like a prevent defense, and when that happened, New England got on the roll, and you never do that.
Well, I think it's people criticize it both ways. Typically, when you're ahead, most people shift to a different defense.
Right.
That's pretty standard.
Right.
Now, so this one he did, and they criticized. I go, okay, so he switched back. Yeah. But I don't know if it was so much that they went to sleep or that the Patriots just stepped it up. You always wonder. These are some amazing players in their abilities to come back.
Right.
You got to give it to Brady and them. You got to give it, even though who knows what happened.
Right.
But you just got to give it to them as a gut check.
Yeah.
As a team, even in losing, what a team! It shows you why they're champions, or at least champion contenders.
True.
Because it's in their character. But Vic, wonderful football.
Yeah. So here's the question going on. We just want to go to that. We got AD all day. Here's the thing, Mario. Will he break Eric Dickerson's record, and will he win the MVP?
Yes.
And will he win Comeback Player of the Year?
Yes.
Okay, if you say so, what you're saying is that MVPs usually go to quarterbacks.
Yes.
It's been a while.
But the Heisman went to a freshman.
Right.
It's that kind of year.
It's that kind of year, right?
It's that kind of year.
Okay, let me ask you this. Here it is. We're going to throw up in the names, and you tell me. We already know AD. I'm saying he is MVP, but they're going to base it on the win of the Vikings.
Yeah, it may not, but I'm just saying you got to, and it looks like most valuable.
Right.
This looks so lopsided because of their lack of other things.
Right.
It's hard, Vic. This is one of those years you really gotta.
What are you thinking about? It's kind of hard. Well, let me just say this: we already know that he's balling, big pimping. All that is. It's not necessary to rate this right now. It's the part where we're going to say, let's just see if he breaks the record. Will they give him MVP? I think he has to break the record, and then they can go, yeah, he's most valuable coming off that year. If Peyton Manning goes to the Super Bowl, will he get an MVP? RG3, and RG3 is being looked at earlier in the season. So I guess it's based on the win. So I would.
I don't know. Those are some good. Those are some wonderful points. That's why I just say I don't know, because Peyton, that is a comeback too.
Right.
And one could argue these are two incredible comebacks. Even though, man, because Adrian has to do physical more than Peyton, I kind of give him a little. I didn't believe. No one believed he would be like nothing.
No.
So.
It's hard.
But those are some great examples, Vic. I don't know.
I know. Okay, well, let's just say this. It's all based on win. So the jury's still out. I just want to recognize that Adrian Peterson is a monster. When I say monster, he's a monster. All right, now, Mario, I went to some subjects here, and I'm not going to cover all these. We're going to pick the ones you think you will want to talk about. Tebowless weekend echoes. Tebow days are coming to an end. We don't see anything happening so far with Tebow. And with only a couple of games coming left in the season, and it's a Monday Night Football game against the Tennessee Titans tonight, and it looks like it's just less Tebow. Has he seen his best days, media hype and opportunity go by him? That's one question.
No.
Andrew Bynum says Kobe stunted his growth. Kobe agrees and says, yeah. He says, yeah. Okay, the next one.
From both. Bynum whining. How can you grow? You didn't play long enough to get stunted. Shit, geez. I barely saw you play. I'm here in L.A., so I don't know what stunted, what growth. You weren't ever on the court. One of the rare times, I don't even know what Kobe's talking about, but whatever. Two people I could care less.
Okay, all right.
Even though I always did think Bynum had potential, but I always felt like from the early part, I said I knew he wasn't going to last.
Right, and you know what?
He just doesn't have it in that physically.
Let me say this too. You don't think the players that played with Michael Jordan had to go above and beyond what they're expected to do? That's how they got the ball. So Bynum is correct. But you have to go above and beyond when you play with an icon.
I don't know how Kobe can stunt his growth. Tell me how. Tell me how. You're on the Lakers. You're on the Lakers as a young player. Okay, that's enough. That's enough. That's enough. There's no stunting. It's called opportunity, asshole.
This is the first time that Mario, in his own way, and I'm laughing at you, PMC, says Mario's like Kobe hater.
I'm not a Kobe hater. I just don't particularly care for him.
Right. It's a personal thing.
Hate would be a very strong word. I don't hate
him.
I don't hate anybody.
Yeah, but we'll talk about that later. PMC.
I don't root for him.
Yeah,
I would like when it's the last shot of the game and it's Kobe shooting.
Right.
Yes, I'm wishing for a miss. That's for sure.
All right, let's go to the next one. All right, so we also, something's in the mist in Roethlisberger, Steeler Town in OT loss versus Cowboys. You know, I feel bad for you, PMC. Man, there's something in the mist. There is a friction going with the coordinator and Ben, Big Ben. There's something going on there, and Ben ain't happy. Now, I would side with Ben. I would. But you have to learn to adjust. And there's some other issues on Pittsburgh that are very telling. Defense is not what it used to be.
Well, there's a lot of things.
Yeah.
Suggs, you know.
I know.
I mean, that's
Palomalu. He's back.
I mean,
Palomalu. He's back.
Harrison.
Yeah.
See,
they're playing.
Yeah, they're all playing, but they all been hurt.
Yeah, I know.
They all been hurt. And the linebacking. Yeah, I'm just saying. Vic, I really think it's a non-story. I think every team has fights like this.
Right.
I think they're always going on. I think it was just a game, and the Steelers still bring it, and, you know, it's just a game. It's just one of the games, you know, to me.
Well, would you have thought, this is the part that gets me most of all. We don't see the Steelers as being 500. Let me just say this. I'm going to get to another point because I want
They need to do some personnel things.
Well, yeah. See, the part about aging is that the younger people come stronger as their first year, second year, third year, as you've already peaked and you're sustaining. Pittsburgh and Baltimore are teams that used to be on the cusp of being the challengers for that AFC against the Patriots. Patriots keep moving their players on. They're not holding on, maybe one or two key players. The issue is going to be, which I'm finding out, is that the AFC is not that strong because the challengers in the AFC now belong to Houston, Texas. And you see what happened with New England spanked that ass about a week ago. So the problem is that New England may get to the Super Bowl by default because Baltimore is down, Pittsburgh is down, Cincinnati's the next one, and Denver, who's already played New England and lost, of course, is saying, well, we're the next. So the two teams that can compete with New England are Denver and Houston. Now, you go to the NFC, Mario, it's a different thing, man.
Well, I think it's a different thing, but only primarily because of two teams.
Right.
New York Giants and San Francisco 49ers.
And you got Seattle.
After that, Seattle, to me, now you're in a group that's with the other group.
Right now, here's the other part.
They're on the level with the other AFC. To me, you have two teams that are really kind of standing out right now, right?
Well, they stand out, but
New York.
The pair, not no more.
Well, I mean, no, but see, I look over their overall record. They're still the team to beat.
Right.
And New York and San Francisco.
Let's go to what you just said. New York, I want you to bow your heads. After getting that ass spanked by Atlanta yesterday, 34-0.
Isn't that something?
we got to explain what happened.
No, you don't. You can throw it out.
No, you can't throw it out.
Yes, you can, because what I'm saying is, in the course of a season, to me, there's always those games that are terrible. I don't think it is see, it depends on whether or not you see it as a predictor. I think that game says nothing about New York's ability. Nothing. It may say something more about Atlanta's ability that says you need to take them more seriously.
Right.
On the other hand, I'm sure the New York folks are saying, we'll see you again, maybe. So I don't know, Vic. See, that's why, because, we do see, if you actually look around the league, haven't we seen like every one of our major people do at least one
everybody has their day.
Terrible, like really terrible blowout game, right?
Right.
Like 20 plus 30.
Yeah,
I mean,
when you have it.
I'm shocked at the blowouts.
Right.
Because now I can't see a consistency to build on.
Look at Chicago.
Oh, yes.
Look at Chicago. Started off 7-1. Everybody said, "Lord, this is the team." And now they're on a straight losing streak. See, the part that's happening here is, I think they're just teams that say we get better each game. I think there's teams who say that they're neck host. I think there's teams that's the model of consistency and change, which is New England is known for that. They know how to adjust. And then you have just a team that comes through like a New York Giants and go, once we turn it on better in the playoffs. So I think New York Giants' concern with people is that they're going, well, they always turn it on in December. I said, well, they lost 3 out of 4 games in December. So
but they're still the team, one of the teams to beat.
Right.
And also, they're also one of the teams, if you look at their numbers,
right,
turnovers,
and
lowest. Like they're the lowest in the league. San Francisco was number 2.
Right.
I'm just saying you have patterns and trends to me that I think will continue to work for you despite this crazy thing. That's all I'm saying.
Look at Baltimore. Even a journalist or broadcaster even said this when they were only had 1 or 2 losses. They said, "Oh no, they're about to go through a 5-game losing streak." He looked at the team, and I looked at the team. I didn't predict 5 straight losses, but he looked at the personnel and the teams they're going up against and matching. And here they're on this losing streak, and they're threatening not to make it in the playoffs. So it's a lot of underperforming teams that are used to being up there.
Well, you know what I think? I really think that it has to do with who's been able to adjust to the new NFL.
Yeah, I agree.
Because what I'm hearing is about the number of offenses that are going through, and the way all of a sudden the stats are showing that the offenses are blowing up certain kinds of plays. And look at even the way the receivers are playing. People were saying, don't you see the receivers getting bolder because they can't be hit the same way? So I think a lot of it has to do with the teams that have been able to adjust, because the ones that are big winners, it seems like they have these offenses where they're just scoring. That's what you're seeing, and maybe that's the thing. And I think that the defenses have to adjust to new offensive strategies that are coming full bore, way out, and all of a sudden people are looking. It's like you said, even in basketball. So now it's a different skill set. You need more speed, little less weight.
That's right. That's right.
Or at least in different areas.
Right.
The game is changing. You can't hit like that anymore, so you have to put a different kind of personnel in.
And let me give you the example of a team who's been able to adjust, still be known for hitting, speed all over the field. And you have to watch them and say how they converge, and they don't get wrapped with illegal hits depending on trying to take your head off. San Francisco. They said, watch this team. They said, with all the rules changes,
that's why I don't throw. That's why when you have a game where they do poorly, like when they had those. It's the overall trend. Like I said, teams are going to. That's why I say I can throw a game out.
Yeah,
because I think it's not in your character. That was your bad day.
Right.
That was just like even New York the other day when Eli starts off like that. How often does he start off like that? They pointed out like once in his career.
Right.
But everybody has that one, right?
And it's hunger too, Mario, because when they, first of all, this is a payback game because, of course, Atlanta got clipped last year by the Giants. So Atlanta's taking it to another level. The Giants are not coming in with something to prove. They're defending you, and There's some complacency on the team because you already got a couple of rings. So hopefully they'll find the energizer.
But they're also a veteran, and like I said, Tom Coughlin has proven this.
That's right.
How many times does he have to prove it?
Okay.
He's proven it over and over and over again that he knows how to get his people ready.
I agree.
So for the big games.
Exit question going out. Out of the 3 teams tied in the NFC East, Redskins, Cowboys, Giants, one team will be left out. Who would you say is not going to make it in the playoffs out of those 3? Redskins, Cowboys, Giants. Whoa. Okay, got you. All right, man.
And that's the one I'm hoping because I want RG3.
I know.
I want RG3. Everybody.
I'm out, man. Thanks, you guys.
That's right. Victor Allen's New Sports. Written, directed by Victor Allen. Now available on podcast. Get the Android app. Carry Vic Sports with you wherever you go. That's Vic.